Okay, you hit the okay.
I would have expected Eugene to be already on if he were here.
No, and he would probably come in as a panelist, not as a
Oh,
yeah. If you would promote Arturo to panelist in the three ellipsis, go to the three ellipsis. Yeah, and then promote to panelist. There you go. And then when Arturo is promoted, you go back to panelist and make him a co-host. That would give him the opportunity to promote people and so forth.
Okay, Arturo, well, again, the three buttons.
Yep.
Also, I didn't get an email for this one.
Make a co-host. Okay.
I always want to be sure. All I see is that Arturo came up when you opened it. Is that correct?
Yes, it's not uncommon for board members to both log in and be present. And here's Bo and Monica. Hey.
Hi, Arturo.
Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you.
Hey, Bo.
Long time no see.
I'll make sure you're added to the Zoom. Hi, Bo.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. Bo.
Brian, can you find out if the people that just came in are making presentations or?
Okay, well, one of them is our
Oh,
old
that's Bo. I could.
Bo
Hi.
and Monique.
Monica from Harvey Epstein.
Making a presentation of any sort?
No.
Or just maybe speaking on any presentation?
I'm more here for support.
She's Harvey Epstein.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
we've met.
Yeah.
I know who you're representing, which is great. Well, anyway, there's a sign-in sheet over here.
Is Susie coming?
And so the answer, Chenault, is no, no planned presentation or speaking on any topic.
Okay. Well, there'll be a lot to hear.
Yeah,
So you're in charge.
well, if you want to call it that. There's our leader on the board.
I'd like to wait just a moment to see if we're getting Eugene because we need him for a quorum.
I don't think I've ever been to a meeting when Susan wasn't here. Honestly, I don't think so.
Yeah, we might
that is-
turn off the recording for this part of it. We're live right now.
Oh, no.
Uh-huh.
I better watch what I say.
Okay, so you're live and unmuted,
Thank you.
and you have 1, 2, 3 plus.
This is Community Board 2 Manhattan, the Landmarks and Public Aesthetics Committee, and it's the first meeting and the only meeting this month of March. There are 3 items tonight. The first one is not an application, so we'll dispose of it and then go on to the 2 applications. The first item is 34.5 East 12th Street. Consider a statement of position concerning the restoration and future use of the Police Athletic League building. The text is in the link, and it is simply to open a conversation about this building that is an individual landmark, which makes it a very great concern, and the fact that it's been derelict and behind a scaffolding for a number of years, and there's concern about its condition and that it will further deteriorate if it's not seen too soon. The police department control it, and our word from them was that they have put in a request to the budget department, which is outside the police department, for funds to do the restoration. And there is, as far as we know, been no decision about what to do with it. So with the cooperation and help of Village Preservation, we want to open this conversation and get the ball rolling, as it were, on trying to get the work done so that it is the very least stabilized and there's sight about what might happen to it. We'll look in the business session at the actual text. There are no members of the public on that I can see. Am I correct in that?
There are.
That's correct. There's,
There are members of the public on.
Correct.
Is there anyone who wishes?
Online.
oh, we
Are they
have,
able to raise their hands, Mark?
They are able, yes.
should be able to raise their hand. Yes. So
Um,
1 in the room and 7 online.
Okay, if there are any members of the public who wish to speak about this, please raise your hands.
I do not see anyone in their hands. Let's see. Dina,
There are none.
of them, Dina is one of the public members, public, of course, representing village preservation,
Okay.
but no hands.
Village Preservation is not going to speak about it tonight. They will at a later time. So this is now a matter for the business session. Would you upgrade the people for 739 Washington Street?
All right.
It's simple to ask them to raise their hands. We'll do that.
Okay. Aaron Rulli. And Marcus Zemke.
Good evening.
Oh, hello.
Great. Hi.
Okay. Are you the only person that's going to speak?
Yeah, I'll present, and Marcus Zimke is the architect, and so he'll be here for questions as well.
Okay. Has Marcus been
Okay.
found? Oh, yeah, there he is.
Yes, he's here. Great. Okay, so
The
I'm going to share.
application is for 739 Washington Street to construct a rooftop addition and rear yard extension.
Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, you're clear.
Great. Thank you. Aaron Rulli, Higgins, Quaysbarth and Partners were the preservation consultants for this project at 739 Washington. And as I mentioned, Marcus Zemke is the project architect of M. Zemke Architecture. And so I'll take you through the presentation, and then we're available to discuss the project. So 739 is located.
I'm sorry, just two things before you
Yep.
start. I just have one question. We don't need quite as many examples of the district as you've shown.
Okay.
And when you come to the pages that have multiple pictures, if you would just enlarge the one you're talking about, that would be a great help.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great, no problem. So 739 is located on the east side of Washington Street between Bank and Bethune in the Greenwich Village Historic District. You probably know this as the Lichtenstein House. It was on the left here, you can see it's was the Roy Lichtenstein Studio, and which is now the Whitney ISP. And this house was occupied most recently by the Lichtenstein Foundation, and recently was acquired by a new owner. And we are looking this evening at the proposed penthouse. There is a stair bulkhead and a mechanical enclosure as well, and rooftop railings, and then a rear yard extension that we're seeing here. There's also a small amount of excavation that includes a combination of underpinning and benching. So here are the context views, just looking down the street. This is, of course, the Whitney ISP currently, and this is 739 Washington. And then looking to the north, 739 is right here. This is, and I'm guessing, Chenault, that this is what you're talking about, the history of the development of the block.
Yeah, do whatever's best there, but it's
Okay.
more an example of what the other things look like in the district.
In the district, okay.
Yeah.
So the existing house was constructed in 1845. It was one of a row of 4 that we see right here on the corner. And this whole corner was developed by the same owner. That included 129 Bank Street, which is a kind of slightly different and a little bit later in 1855. And as you can see in this diagram and in the map, 739 and 737 were coplanar at the rear. And then because of the angles and the unique conditions in the block, there's a slight jog with the rest of the row. And then this is a very typical Far West Village block where you have the sort of the mixed use with the row houses along Washington Street, and then the commercial or industrial development in the middle of the block. There was a plaster mill and a window factory in the mid block. So it's sort of irregular lot pattern and angles to this block specifically. And then there was always historically a break in the Bank Street frontage that afforded some amount of view into the mid block from Bank Street. Beginning in the mid 19th century, the block began to evolve and has resulted in a very sort of irregular context for this house. The house adjacent to it, which was coplanar as part of its row, received a full height rear extension and two-story extension in the late 19th century, which exists today. And so this red massing is indicating that extension to the sister building to the south. And then in the late 19th century, 733 was replaced with a 5-story tenement, which we see here, and closed off some of that connection on Bank Street at that time. And then at 127 Bank Street, this cooperage, 5-story cooperage was constructed, and you can see sort of the impact of that on that sort of corner block context. This is 129 Bank Street, which was part of that 1845, 1855 development of the corner. And then in 1912, we have the construction of 745 Washington Street, which ends up being the Lichtenstein Studio building. Ultimately, that had a 1-story footprint over the whole lot, and then 2 stories at the back, or at the front, I'm sorry, along Washington Street in its original construction. And then this is the condition today. So of course, 745 has had a 3rd-story addition that extends all the way along the west side and along the south. So that entirely closes off the north side of 739. And then 737's full height extension that was 8+ feet that went back on the full height of that building. And that all just sort of locks in 737 between those two buildings. And then, of course, the construction of the tenement on the corner. But you can also see just all of the density of construction all around the house itself. This is the existing condition. 739 is here. This 1-story kitchen extension greenhouse structure was added in 1990. We have 737 here, and this is the Whitney ISP building to the right. Just a few views of the house today, conditions, and another view, 737 to our left, to the south, the existing rear yard, and then to the north, the Whitney ISP building. So the proposed scope of work is penthouse addition. You can see here, so at the rooftop, we'll be talking about, there's a planter box that goes right behind the cornice, a railing that extends behind that, and that allows us to push back the railing a little bit behind the planter box. The 1-story penthouse with its stair bulkhead and mechanical enclosure. So the stair bulkhead is required under code. You can't use a hatch here under current code. So it has to have a stair bulkhead, and mechanicals are required to be enclosed now with screening. So this is all sort of part of existing code requirements as part of the new project. There's going to be facade restoration that'll all be managed at staff level. We have painting the windows. They'll have a dark finish, black and the lintels will be restored with the Greek Revival profile. Currently, they're painted white and have been cut back. So they'll get a brownstone finish and their profiles restored, and then masonry repair and brick repointing as needed. Up at the rooftop, those elements that I just mentioned, the railing, the penthouse, and the stair, bulkhead, and mechanical enclosure. Here's the existing roof section, and then the proposed roof section. So we have the penthouse, it's set back 15 feet from the front facade. You can see the railing here with the integrated planter box. The height above the roof level will be 9'10" for the front of the penthouse. And then as we step back, we have the mechanical enclosure and stair bulkhead here. At the rear, it's an 8-foot extension, 8.5-foot extension to match the existing depth of 737. And the penthouse will be set back 3 feet behind the new parapet line. So it's not going to be extending all the way back to the new rear wall. It sets back, and so you get 2 sort of separate readings of the massing elements. Here we see that in plan. So the setback to the front facade of the penthouse at 15 feet, the new mechanical enclosure and stair, and then the new parapet. This is the end of the penthouse, and we'll look at the rear conditions next. So at the rear, proposed condition is to match the conditions of the existing brick facade and bring it out to the plane of 737. That's again about 8.5 feet, and matching the cornice line and the lintels of the existing building. It'll have all brick with punched openings on the upper 2 floors. The penthouse is set back those 3 feet. It'll have a warm gray stucco finish with sort of a glazed studio window opening. And then we see the mechanical enclosure and bulkhead at the roof level. Extending out an additional 4 feet from the facade. Is that right? Let me confirm that dimension. Is that right,
Yeah,
Marcus?
yeah, but
4
it's,
feet. Yeah,
yeah.
I got lost in it for a second. 4 feet, this little greenhouse extension, which will then extend down to the basement level. So you can see currently the first floor comes down, steps down to the rear yard grade. 737's yard is excavated down to the basement level. And so we'll be matching that condition and creating a deeper rear yard for that sort of limited space behind the house. And then we see that in elevation, punched openings, soldier course lintels, and new steel and glass infill, multi-light configuration, and the penthouse above. And then in section, so we looked at the rooftop already. We have that 8.5-foot extension here, the additional 4-foot greenhouse extension, and that excavation at the rear at the basement level. Here is showing the 1'11" excavation at the existing basement to give us a clear ceiling height of 9 feet. Again, that could be approved at staff level if there was an underpinning as part of this, but there is in select areas. And we are also subject to Landmark's enhanced engineering review. And so we'll be providing all of that documentation prior to the public hearing review next month. And then, so I'm going to take you through some of the visibility.
Sorry, may I just ask one detail about, if you could go back?
Sure.
So we don't have to get lost later.
Mm-hmm.
The underpinning, about what is the total running footage of the underpinning that's involved?
Let's see. Do you know that off the top of your head, Marcus?
No, if you give me 1 second, I can.
Okay.
Oh, if we can just look it up and do it
we'll
later.
figure it out for you.
Just
Yep.
okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to apologize because we sent the deck we sent you earlier. We realized that the mock-up was constructed wrong, and so they contractors went out and made some corrections to the mock-up earlier today. These photographs are slightly different than the ones you were provided earlier. There's less visibility than was shown in the set you received earlier. So I also have the ones that you have in your set, so we can talk about the differences if it's if there are any
Just do
questions.
the new one and
The new, yeah, that's
so
what,
all
okay,
that
that's what I'll
matters,
be
yeah.
presenting, yes.
Okay.
So here, from directly across Washington, there's no visibility and no visibility from the north looking down Washington. And then as we start to walk to the south toward Bank Street, we start to see the top of the railing and the top of the parapet, the top of the penthouse from the south corner of Bank and Washington. And as we go down sort of the slope of Bank Street at this oblique view, because we get this sort of wide angle at Bank and Washington, we can see sort of all of the various elements of the rooftop, but it's all against sort of the context of the ISP building and then the larger buildings in the background. So what you're seeing here is this is a railing. This portion here is the penthouse itself, and then this is the mechanical and the stair bulkhead in the zoomed view, and this is what it looks like in the normal eyes view. At the midpoint on Washington, just north of Bank Street, you're going to just get sort of the top hint of the parapet of the penthouse at above the cornice line there. And then on Bank Street, at the break on Bank Street, we're going to have visibility of, well, we'll jump here. We're going to have visibility of the new rear wall, which is going to be coplanar with the existing wall of 737 here. So you're seeing this line, and then this is the new proposed penthouse set back 3 feet from the plane of the new rear wall. And this is the bulkhead. In the distance, this is the bulkhead of the ISP building and the rear wall of the side wall of the ISP building. And it's just a little complicated. I'm sorry I have to explain so much here, but because we don't have a rear wall to support the back of the mock-up, the bulkhead mock-up will project 31 inches. The bulkhead itself will project 31 inches beyond what is shown here. They just weren't able to construct it attached to the roof to do it securely. Yes, you can. And this, you can see it in these views as well. So that is it. This is a photo of the reconstructed mock-up. The one you saw earlier, this was right behind the cornice. It was incorrectly placed, and the wall of the penthouse was a foot. It was 1 foot too close to the front facade. And here's just the sort of material palette, the warm gray of the bulk of the new penthouse, black finish for doors and windows, and the new window installation for the rear facade. And that's it. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, just a couple to get the notes in order.
Mhm.
Is it fair to say that the front facade is intact apart from detailing that you're going to
Yes.
reproduce?
Mhm.
And do we have an answer about the underpinning?
Yeah, so it's 51 feet, linear feet on one side and 18 feet on the other.
And if you could go to plate 24. This is from what vantage point?
This is from Bank Street. There's a break in
I
Bank
mean, is it
Street.
north or south of the building then?
South of the building.
Okay.
Mhm.
So all the visibility is the south, and
South,
you've just progressed down the thing. Okay.
exactly. From south to west to east. Yes, south of the building.
Okay.
Mhm.
And like everything else. Oh, the at the rear is the garden to be pretty much as it was, and you're just moving into it with the extension.
Yes,
So the excavation doesn't extend beyond the house
It-
itself.
beyond it does. Just at let me give you, let's look at the axon. That's probably the clearest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just right there.
And so how far is the excavation into the garden?
That's not on the, I think our section line is cut in a different place. Let's see.
Yeah, let me just
Yeah.
typing in.
And approximately, not to be
Mhm.
visible.
It's about 3.5 feet.
Okay.
And then it's 2 steps. It's like about 3.5 feet, and then there's a small portion down to the basement doors, which is about 5.5 feet.
Which is this, right?
And the
Yeah.
delicate
Yes,
matter of underpinning doesn't enter into this then.
correct, because of the neighboring property that you can see in that axon.
Okay.
It's an existing. We're matching the levels to the south.
Okay. And so there's sufficient garden left. That's all. Thank you. We'll go around the committee. Brian?
Well, okay, as far as my comments are concerned, certainly from across the street at West Bath, I did not see much, but as you pointed out, there's a lot of visibility from the south angle. That's a little troublesome, but I think you've worked pretty hard to minimize that. And I'm sure that the planter box at the front will also help to soften that.
Could someone mute who seems to have a dog? Okay.
How's that?
No, there was some noise on the.
Oh, yes, it's outside.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess there is an awful lot of visibility from the south, Bank Street and through that opening in the building. I'm not clear of what the materials are that are going to be visible. I believe you had a rendering of those exposure views.
Yes, so what will be it's has a gray stucco finish, the penthouse. So that would be kind of this massing. We have a sort of neutral gray stucco finish, and then this is a sort of a gray screening, a light gray screening. That's correct, Marcus? And then
Yeah.
the bulkhead is stucco. Yeah.
Will be the same gray stucco, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So from this vantage point, we're seeing in the left-hand side, the lower section is gray against gray, and the bulkhead section is gray against brick.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell in this view, but this bulkhead is on the north side of the addition. This is it, because it all gets kind of lost in the orange netting. That is on the north side, so it's not. There's going to be a break and some differentiation up there in terms of planes, because this is looking from the back. You know, that's this angle here.
If it's okay, Brian, does anyone else want to talk about the visibility?
Yeah, one question I have, just can you remind me why you need the stairway bulkhead?
It is a code requirement when it's considered a floor. Anything that is more than 1/3 of the floor level below when you do put an addition on. They now require you to have a continuous stair all the way up to the top, to the roof level, which is considered the roof of the parapet. I mean, the roof of the penthouse, not the lower roof. And so I don't know if you've seen this recently, but it's something with the new code, and it's been tripping up a lot of people because people think you can do a hatch, and then when you start to go through your DOB process, they find out they have to do a bulkhead, and they get sent back to landmarks because they didn't incorporate the bulkhead. So you're not allowed to do hatches anymore to the roof.
I mean, never, or only when there's an addition. I mean,
When there's an addition or a substantial project, yes, correct.
Any other questions about that? I would just say that the standard is in this area and with row houses, not more than minimally visible. Then we take from that, if it is more than minimally visible, to put it crudely, is it offensive? If the way it lies, the way against the sky, against other buildings. So we'll consider all of that in determining whether clearly more than minimally visible addition is as we would recommend. And while this one is up, I have my one question. Oh, Eugene, sorry.
Thank you, Chanel. I actually did have a quick question on the visibility. And I think when you were going through the slides, it may have been slide 22. I think you were describing a deficiency in the mock-up as it was constructed. Could you just kind of walk through that again? I was trying to follow that.
Oh, it's actually on this back view along Bank Street, because, and I'm just going to show you the axon one more time, because we don't have a facade here to build the penthouse and the bulkhead up onto in terms of the mock-up. So this rear facade, right, is coming out to this plane, and then there's the penthouse and bulkhead above that. So what is mocked up could only be on the rooftop itself.
I see. Okay.
Okay. So that means that the bulkhead in the mock-up that's wrapped in orange is, in this view, 31 inches short. But when in terms of the facade, it's going to fill this gap, which is right here between 737 and the Whitney ISP building. And that's what's rendered here. And we've rendered the penthouse in the correct plane. Exactly.
I see. So it would be
even though we
flush
weren't able
with
to mock
the-
that up. Yes.
Okay, so it would be flush with its neighbor.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
And that 17, I'm sorry, are there any other questions from the committee? If you go to 17 again, please, I have one question. The windows, the top is always required. And interesting, yesterday at the Landmarks Commission meeting, they specifically called out a house with a rebuilt back wall to ask for this, not just to preserve, but to recall the original. Underneath that, are those multi-pane windows the ones that are not historic and shrunk in size?
In the existing condition, Chenault, or in the proposed?
In the proposed.
In the proposed, they're multi-light, yes. In the
And
two
why
pairs.
have you elected not to use the same tripart pattern?
It really has to do with interior planning to be able to create two occupiable rooms there with light and air for those two spaces.
Okay.
are those windows, the existing, have they been replaced over the years, or what's it?
They have, yes. They're 1990s replacements.
But the openings are the same.
The openings, yeah. For the most part, there's one that's been, the lintels have been reconstructed. That's very obvious. And then it looks like there used to be a door here, and that's been infilled. And I suspect, I believe they demolished something that was here to build this greenhouse, this extension, and there was a door that used to lead out to the roof of that structure previously. Not originally, but previously.
There's steel casement windows now?
In the proposed?
Existing.
No. These are on the brick punched openings, they're wood double
Those are-
hung.
Oh.
Yeah. And these are aluminum, not good construction. In a very technical term. Yeah.
Is that all the questions? Okay, and are there members of the public who wish to speak? Are there board members here? I don't see any.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
a question, actually. It's really not to do with the landmarks. Why are you bothering to excavate down to the cellar level? Seems like a lot of, you're going to be losing backyard.
Yeah, the priority for the client here is trying to get more light down to the basement rooms. They're going to be occupiable spaces, so they want to make them feel as comfortable as possible. So that's about maximizing kind of natural light and access.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you, and thank you, everyone. We'll move on to the next application.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Brian or Eugene, whoever's managing it now, it's on for 739 Washington Street, if you would bring up the people.
That would be, we're closing up 739 Washington and going to 60 Bank Street.
I'm sorry, I'm rereading this segment. Well, Bank Street then.
Yes, so could the presenters for Bank Street raise their hand and I'll elevate you to present, okay? With Edward Bowser.
Okay, the application is for 60 Bank Street to restore the full facade, construct a small rooftop addition, rebuild an existing rear yard extension with new windows patterns, and excavate the rear yard.
Where's the share? Okay.
Oh, let me ask you again. I said it, I think, when you were not on, perhaps. There are a number of pages that have small, sort of like that one. And if you have something particular to show, just enlarge the one you're speaking of. And
Okay.
there seemed to be an enormous number of comparisons in the district, and just be selective with maybe a few of any one topic.
Sure.
We know the district well and generally what fits with what houses, so
Sure.
it'll be okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you hear? You guys can hear me?
Yes.
All right. I'm Joe Torella for Swiggy Torella Architects, and this is a townhouse on Bank Street that we're going to completely renovate and restore. We've been working with Landmarks for almost a year now, mostly at staff level, to work on the restoration, of which they've pretty much approved quite a bit. And the reason we're here is for a couple of things that are more visible and some work in the back. So
You're saying that there is other work that's being approved by the staff.
yeah, we're going to restore the entire facade, including the staircase, the doors around, the cornice. All of that has, similar to what's on the right, all of that has been, we've been working with at the staff level for.
Okay, if you just be clear about what's before us, but we'd like to see the staff approved things so that we know what the context of what we're looking at is.
Sure. So, on the left is a picture of what it looked like in 1938. The building is from 1854, and a lot has been done to it over the years. And we hope to put most of that stuff back. The brickwork, the stair, the railings, the door surround, the doors, the windows down to the water table, the cornice, cleaning and restoring all the brickwork, new windows, on the front, a full restoration. And we also have, there's a small addition in the rear that was built in the 60s or the 60s, and that was approved, but it's in terrible condition. We want to flesh that out. And we have a small rooftop addition where the stair comes up, and we want to build about a 12 by 20 enclosure on the roof, which cannot be seen from the street, but the house directly to our west, which is number 62, is the shortest house on the block. And so when you go obliquely down the street, you can see some of the pop-up from down the street. From the front, you cannot see anything at all. And Landmarks wanted us to go to public hearing for that, not just approve it at staff level. So here we are. Do we want to try I think we'll try the next slide just to see. So this is the district. This is the lot, and this is where it is on Bank Street. It's between West 4th and Bleecker, closer to West 4th on the south side of the street. And the building directly to our east was already fully renovated, and many buildings on this block have been renovated extensively. Let's go to the next. So this is the streetscape. This is us, where can you see the arrow, the hand thing that we're moving around?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So that's us, and the short building next to us is the one we're dealing with. And these are just some historic photos of what the building has gone through. Most recently, it was subdivided into 8 individual apartments inside, and the inside is a complete wreck from years and years and years and years. So we're gonna redo the entire inside. And then we go next. So this is just a view of the donut. Where this building over here, and the bottom shot is everything that's been done. This is the opposite side of the street, and all the things that have been done to it, including in-ground pools and office building like backs, and you name it. We are not proposing all of those, but just so you see that there's been quite a lot going on this block. You're probably familiar with it. So the two things, let's go to another. So this is just what we had been dealing with Landmarks, but this is an example of the block. The yellow things are all the things that have been excavated already. The light green are all the additions in the back that have been added to these buildings, and the darker green are all the top things that have been added to these buildings already. And we are requesting some of those things, but we're in fairly minimal, we believe, addition that we're looking to add. So let's go to. So this is a shot here at the bottom. Oh, going the wrong way. This is a shot at the bottom of our rooftop addition. That orange piece in the middle.
Okay, could you enlarge that?
Oh, here to the right, you can see it. We've enlarged it. Right here. Yeah. So that's what you see all the way from down the street. The shot to the left, number A, this is exactly what you see from the front of the building with the rooftop addition built.
And the one on the right is the most extreme.
This is the most extreme.
Okay.
And there's also a big tree there that, when it's in leaf, you really don't see anything at all. But
we don't consider them because
I understand.
Sometimes not in
Trees
leaf.
don't count, but it is it cannot be seen at all except in a very oblique angle. Okay, and then this is the piece in the back So on the top is the existing condition. This extension was built out in the 50s and 60s. It was filed and approved. But it goes out about 5 or 6 feet. And it runs across the whole back. We'll show you a photo of that. And we would just like to flesh it out. And we're also asking to excavate some of the rear yard for storage. And then we were going to put it back completely as a full garden at the same level that it was at before. And then
I'm sorry, I don't quite understand. You're saying you're remodeling the existing extension, but leaving it?
the same distance, yes. It's 6
You're
feet.
building a new one the same
Correct.
distance now? Okay.
Correct. We'll show you that section. And then this is the roof. This shows the front of the building is to the right. And this shows the new stair coming up and the amount of the rooftop piece that we're looking to have. It's about I think about 12 by 21. Okay. And then this is the front facade of the building. This shows the extension as if you could see it flat, but this is what more or less what the building looks like now on the left. And one other thing that we're asking for is in the front areaway, which has been excavated and filled in at various times, but it's fully excavated. We're putting a new railing that matches the existing railing, and we would like to put the gate to the railing more to the east rather than centered on it in order to be able to utilize more of the areaway for access, to be able to get room for reasonable steps going down rather than something sharper. So that's the front, and the rooftop is going to be clad in zinc, raised standing seam zinc panels, similar to what's been done on the building next to us.
Yeah, can I just ask on that point there, right below where your cursor is?
Yes.
It looks like a steel beam. What is that right there? Right there. Yeah.
That's the upper part of the existing parapet that is not quite the same brick, but we were intending to leave it rather than cut it off.
Have we seen a representation of the rooftop addition? Did I miss it altogether?
As far as
what it is?
We just showed you a plan, right? We went that.
So, I mean, what does it look like?
Oh, it's a box, and it's clad in standing seam zinc.
But you don't have a rendering or anything of it, or an elevation?
Well, this is the front elevation of it.
And is that of solid?
It's mostly solid.
Is that a full window wall we're seeing?
It's got a door coming out for servicing air conditioning.
And is that a window, a full wall, full height window?
No.
I can't tell what we're seeing.
No, it's just a door. It's just a service door to get.
Is there no window in the front?
No, not facing towards the street. No, the windows strictly face the back.
I can't figure out from that. It makes
just
no...
a moment. Let me get these, and then Sean. The excavation,
yes.
Is there excavation under the house itself?
Want me to go to the section? There is some clearing of different levels of existing floor in the cellar that we're hoping to level out, and we have a little bit of underpinning to do.
Okay, let's start with the excavation. How deep is the excavation below the house?
Below the house
is 2 feet.
Anything interior to the house?
Oh, about 2 feet. We go to a section.
And can you show us on a plan about or maybe the underpinning?
Yes, sure.
Where it is.
Yeah, here we go. So on the west wall where the elevator and this area are, it's about 15 feet of underpinning in the mid wall. And in the rear, on this wall, about 10 feet of underpinning.
And is that all adjacent to an existing, an existing structure next door?
Yes.
And this excavation extends under the extension.
Yes.
And
And
then
we
how far
share
how far beyond the extension into the garden is it?
the underpinning.
Well, if there is, and the excavation.
The extension is about 6 feet beyond the back of the original building, and that's as far as we're going.
And you mentioned excavation under the garden.
Yes, this white box
Okay,
here in the
how
back,
much, how, what's the dimensions of it?
that's about 18 feet square.
So how far into the garden?
About 18 feet.
Beyond the existing footprint.
Oh, the plot's 18, so it's 18 by 18.
Yeah, the plot is 23.
Oh, so
So
it's just short.
we're inboard a few feet on each side and 5 feet in the back. We're to stay clear of the other people's, the property lines are not all that clear. So we're trying to.
And that, I assume, leaves at least a minimum between the back edge of the excavation and the property line.
Yes, 5 feet in the back.
Okay.
And the people back to back with us have an in-ground swimming pool. So we're trying to stay pretty clear of their stuff.
So that it's the maximum permitted excavation under the garden.
Yes.
Which is all the garden, 18 feet plus 5 feet is the garden. Okay.
Correct. And our intention is to put it all back at the same level once we've excavated.
Let's see. Oh, you mentioned particularly the gate. Is that something that we're to speak of that staff didn't do?
The staff wants us to present it at public hearing. They were not willing to give us the gate at staff level.
I'm sorry, it is or is not something for us to speak about?
It is.
I wanted to mention it to you in case there is some concern at the community board level as well.
Okay. We routinely, so far as this, usually for a ramp, so that I don't think that is a question, but we'll discuss it. Okay, are there questions from the committee?
Oh, lots. Go ahead. Arturo is going to start.
I just have maybe this is mislabeled, or maybe I'm misunderstanding. On slides or pages, exactly this one actually, it says existing front facade and existing rear facade. Are those the correct labels, or is it the proposed front facade?
Oh, it's the proposed, yeah. Yeah.
And then
we've been shuffling the pages so much with landmarks, honestly, in the last week that the label got. But it's good that you caught it because we'd like to fix it. But this is the proposed new facade.
And then same thing for the next page. I think you also have mislabeled rear.
Yes, this is the existing rear facade, and this is the proposed rear facade.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, so I would like to ask if we have some documentation about where the cornice is on the original building, because the proposed cornice on the front facade just seems out of place. So what went into the decision to put the cornice where it is on your rendering?
Well, we placed it relative to the photo at the level relative to the windows and others where it was originally, rather than all the way at the top, which would have left us with a much larger gap between the window and the cornice. And we thought it better to not cut the top off rather than, because there's a steeply sloping roof, which we are not interfering with. We'll show you that in section. But
starting where the Facebook was.
yeah, this is, this was the original brick, kind of ends somewhere in that area. And that was where we thought was the best place to place the cornice.
Okay, so you're saying that you don't have any better photographs than the one you're showing to give us a better indication of the true extent of the original cornice?
No, we have all the photos. Maybe the next one. We have all the photos that we've been able to find of the existing, historic pictures of the building.
Okay.
Yeah, these up here at the top, but you really can't see much more, and it's dark.
Okay. Is there a stoop gate as part of this presentation?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wait, it's stoop gate?
Oh, no.
Wait, you mean
On the stoop, on the stoop?
Yes.
No.
All right, thank you. Then, I'm just going to offer something to you that the visibility is so great for this addition on the roof. And it's partly because you've chosen to do a relatively small room running all the way across the building, as opposed to maybe that same footprint over on the other side of the building. So it's not so much sticking out like a sore thumb. And so since you have already indicated to us that the interior is totally reworked, so I'm assuming that locating the stairway is something that was within your purview. So I would say, have you considered that addition being less visible?
Well, I mean, that's a pretty broad question. We already didn't bring the elevator up to the roof. We in order to not have less stuff on the roof. The stairs, it's a major element on the interior, not just where it comes out on the roof. And so with the entry door on that side of the building and the existing stairs on that side of the building, and then there's a bulkhead now that sticks up for the existing stair, which we're taking away. It seemed, from a planning perspective, a better place to put the stair.
Can you show us with your arrow of where the existing bulkhead is? In other words, what we'd see if there weren't a rooftop addition.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of it in the photo. It's photo 3 on the top. That's the existing bulkhead.
Can you enlarge that, please?
Let's see. I think if I click here, escape.
You see it there? Whoa.
The one that shows the bulkhead.
You see it in both photos.
Yeah, it's that area in the back that's the existing bulkhead.
Okay, so and are the stairs? Is that where I'm now confused? Is
No,
that
we're
where
moving-
the stairs
we're-
are now, or they moved to inside?
We have moved them somewhat closer to the front.
Okay, so the existing bulkhead is on the same side of the building
Yes.
to the rear. Okay.
Yes.
Are there other questions?
Chenault, I have some questions.
Yes.
So if you could go back to the front elevation, I don't know if I missed this, but did you describe the windows? It looks like the windows are much different in the existing and the proposed. Is that part of the application before us?
Well, not really. The windows
No.
that were shown that are currently existing have been are replacement windows that were done in, I don't know, maybe the 60s or 70s. The windows we're proposing are as close to what was in the historic photos as we can determine so far, which we've been going through the profiles and the brick molds and everything else with landmarks, and they seem satisfied with what we're providing.
And you acquired the 404s for
Okay.
example.
And we're also bringing the ground floor windows, the main floor windows back down to the top of the water table, which is how they were originally.
And are the new windows wooden windows?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm just very curious, since you have this on the next slide, I realize this is invisible from the street, but what exactly is going on with the windows in the rear?
Well, the rear is responding more, not that there's much back there that's of any, the rear is quite a mess, but that's a different question. But the interior of the building has been redesigned by a pretty famous Italian designer, and in sort of mid-century modern world. And their intention was to carry that out to the back of the building as much as possible. We've been through the lower portion of the building with landmarks up till now with the brick piers and cleaning up the facade a lot, and they seem okay with this. But this is the yin and yang of the front of the building versus the back of the building.
Okay, and I just have two more questions.
Sure, I'm sorry, go ahead, and I'll before we move on from this slide.
Do you want to have your question, Chenault, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. My two other questions were, one, do you have any pictures of the mock-up, or is it just that one photograph very early in the presentation?
No, we have pictures of it. You mean like up where it is, as opposed to seeing it from the street?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah, I think they're in the appendix.
Okay.
Yeah, but of course. Yeah. So this is what we built. We built only the two walls that you can see from the street. So this is the front wall, and coming back, this is the side wall. And the higher piece on top is actually a representation of some of the air conditioning units that are going to be on the top of the mock-up, on top of the pop-up.
The mechanicals?
Yeah.
Okay. And regarding the gate, or I guess the front of that of the building, are there any details of the proposed, I guess, changes to the gate?
This is the panel.
It's just a little hard to tell from, I guess, the one photograph that is in there.
Yeah, this is close up more of what we're proposing.
Are there similar ones in the neighborhood or with similar buildings?
This attached photo.
Yeah. Yes, they're both similar to other ones in the neighborhood, and as close as we could find to matching the tax photo of the actual original pattern.
Are you finished, Eugene?
I am. Thank you, Chenault.
Could you go back to the rear elevation? I'm sorry, I should wait. Are there other members of the committee that want to ask questions?
Well, I just want to ask if there's a photo of the existing rear facade.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, that's yeah, I think there's a better photo here. The photo.
Isn't that it? Yeah.
Yes.
That's what the rear facade looks like right now. Number 5. Yeah.
Do you want to say something about it or just say?
What do you think, Bo?
So that's an extension on the ground level, right?
Correct. Two levels, actually.
2 levels.
Other questions?
Yeah. In the, excuse me, in the, why are you, it looks like in the proposal, you're going to have more pane on the front facade, more panes or lights of windows than existing. I think there were 4, and now you're going to have 8
Yes,
per window. Why are you
That
doing
was-
that?
that was requested by Landmarks to match the fax photo.
Okay.
I think our clients would prefer the other one as well.
And I don't, you know, I know, I agree with you. Just because the tax photo has it doesn't mean it's historical. Doesn't look very historical.
True. Well, in
This
18
is the staff are approving this
yeah.
based on the historical.
Also in 1850,
Material, so-
the technology to make bigger panes of glass probably didn't exist. So it is, it's conceivable they were smaller panes.
Okay, could you go back to, I think first the photograph of the rear facade that you showed, that would be. Yeah. Now, we're looking at the original back wall and the original window openings,
Yes.
and the windows, of course, are going to be replaced. And what are we seeing underneath the leaves? That it sort of gets vague. What must be is that the?
Yeah. There's doors that have been cut into a balcony. There's replacement bricks.
Okay. So that's been
stuccos
considerably altered
on it.
but the section above it, the 2 floors above, have not been altered then.
They have not.
So there's a lot of original material coming out in order to make these windows. If you go to the rendering, please.
Yes. We'd like to save some of those bricks because the walls, several of the walls have really some structural problems that we're going to need things to fix both on the side and up above.
Okay. Now, it's hard to know exactly what we're looking at here. Is this really just plain glass,
Just
as
ultra,
big as it looks like?
ultra modern.
Yeah, those are sliding. The bottom one is slider. The top one is fixed, and that one is a slider.
So that's pretty much half the width of the house, piece of glass sliding with no.
Yes.
And the only distinction is the edge of the glass itself.
Yes.
Okay. Eugene, are you able to show these in the business session?
I have the presentation that was sent to us, so yeah, we can bring this back up
Okay,
in the
good.
business
Okay.
session.
Fine. Are there any other questions?
Yes, this is Brian, and I do have one other clarification in case the presenter is not here during our business session. And that is that I noticed that in the details and on your floor plans, there's quite a bit of steel in the floors. So probably for just getting a stronger structure for your floors. And the stair is totally reconstructed. It's not in the original place of the
Correct.
original stair. So I just,
The stair that's in there now is not the original stair either. It was when it was installed, when that was converted to a multiple dwelling. So
okay.
It's actually,
Yeah, all right, so it's just, I'll be arguing for, well, I'm going to be arguing for, there's other solutions that will keep the addition on the roof from being so visible. So I just had to clarify that.
sure.
I have a question, Chanel. So there's 8, there had been 8 tenants there. How many, do you know how many will be there now? Will this be a one-family house?
One family house.
Thank you.
I'd like to say something about the rear facade. The commission, in the olden days, seemed not so concerned with it. Now they're treating their view of the rear facade equally to the front as part of the house and the way the house looks. So while this visible from a thoroughfare theory, it has to do with rooftop additions, the fact that the rear facade is not visible except within the donut doesn't discount it from being carefully considered. Are there any other questions? Any public questions? None? Okay. Thank you.
Dina has her hand raised. Sorry, Dina has her hand raised from Village.
Let me promote you.
Okay, Brian, if you'll please return everyone to the proper spot.
You're able to do that, Arturo?
Yeah, I can do that. I just promoted Dina.
Oh, Chanel, yeah. Dina's joining to ask her question.
Hello. Sorry, you had given me audio access before and then I lost it. My fault. Thank you for promoting me. I just wanted to share 2 quick things about this presentation. One is just for clarity, because I noticed that the LPC agenda is up for this item. It was helpful to me to just understand exactly which parts are under your and our review. So it's on the agenda, it says the application is to construct rooftop and rear yard additions, excavate the rear yard, alter the rear facade and lot line parapets, and install ironwork. And I think the ironwork is that front gate situation. So anyway, just wanted to clarify that. And then one other thing quickly, some of the committee members touched on this already, but just for the applicant to know if they're still listening, I think it would be very helpful to really understand the impact of the visibility if a rendering, possibly an axonometric rendering, could be included of the rooftop addition in the materiality that it's going to be, because we can see that it's quite visible from that side view, but it's hard to really grasp what that's going to feel like within the streetscape without a rendered view. So I know it probably won't come back to you all again before the LPC hearing, but if the applicants were able to include that for LPC, I would imagine that would be helpful. Just wanted to share that thought. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I appreciate that point for sure.
Then, sorry, you did not want to speak about the other application.
No, that was all for me.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Is there anyone anywhere who wishes to speak? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And if you'll take down your screen share.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I think it'll be easy. The first report of the position paper. This will go to the board at its regular meeting. We'll just send it as what we recommend. And it's not a letter, which is what we're normally doing, but rather something to be distributed or to be amplified or whatever will be done with it. It's something that so goes beyond landmarks. I think we'll just pass it along and the board will decide what to do. So have you read it from the distribution?
Are you asking whether we've read it in this?
Yeah, I mean, the question before us is to send it along as it's been proposed by Susan was this, oh, for those who weren't here, Susan was to write this. And I reviewed it with her at the request of Village Preservation, and we took it on as a project to do, and they gave a presentation about the need for it and the urgency, particularly.
See that?
Are you talking about the position paper on the agenda?
Yeah, yeah, that's what's before us. Do we want to send what's written along to the board?
I would be hesitant to move that language along. We haven't even discussed anything, I guess,
Is there a copy of this somewhere?
Okay. This is the time to discuss it if there's to be discussion of it. If it's satisfactory as it is, we'll send it along.
So to your point, the position paper is under the agenda item.
Oh, it's clicked. It's linked.
Yeah, it's a link.
First agenda item.
Oh, okay, got it. Sorry.
Just like an application.
Thank you.
Well, the Police Athletic League building, correct?
Yes. We have purposely decided not to include in this recommendation of potential uses. We feel that should come along in the course of the discussion or the amplification or whatever happens, because it goes so far beyond actual landmarks. It's sort of landed here because it's an individual landmark. There's concern about its preservation.
So the purpose of this is simply to get it in the record, right? There's no official position one way or the other. It's just a description, correct, of the Police Athletic League building, and it's inserting the designation report, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, if I may comment,
where additional things will come or not, depending on what the board feels is the state of things at the moment.
Okay, so in reading through this statement from the community board, I feel that it's lacking in strong language of what we would normally call for in terms of saving and restoring this building. So the strongest language in this statement so far as it is the last sentence of the first paragraph. We write to express our concern about its current condition, as well as our hope to be included in decisions about its future. I think that could be much stronger. And then the second paragraph in the middle, we understand that there is a pending request by the New York Police Department to the city for funds to restore this landmark after lengthy neglect. The building urgently needs care and attention for its preservation. We hope those funds are allocated as soon as possible in order to prevent further deterioration. This is, I think, again, in strongest terms, we should say it is imperative that the funding request be granted so that this building can be saved from further deterioration, et cetera.
So,
That's the language, that's what I'm emphasizing. Okay.
Does everyone understand Brian's general?
yeah, I understand that this is
Okay.
Valerie. I'm off camera. So we received information from Lieutenant William Costello in the Facilities Management Division at 1PP, within YPD, that this was a $14.2 million. Their cost assumptions were $14.2 million with a design, with $785,000 of that for design and with $13.4 million for construction. So maybe that should go, should that go in there? And that NYPD has this listed, is listed and submitted as the #1 critical project related to facade renovations, and that pending funding approval by OMB for fiscal year 2027, which we all know starts, June 30th, July 1st of 2026, and approval from the Landmark Preservation Commissioner. Construction will begin in fiscal year 2030 and is expected to last 2 years. So fiscal year 2030 would start in, July 1, 2029.
Well, we can simply add that.
So I can, Mark got this
after our statement really as the backup for it.
Yeah, so I think
we're adopting that, but it's I suggest this, if it's agreeable to everyone, that we work with Brian on his suggestions about strengthening, and then add the statement, add all the documentation it really is from the police department, so that it's all in one place and one document then for.
I'll forward this.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is there a reason that this is a letter and not in our traditional resolution format?
In a what format?
Is there a reason that it's not reading as a resolution?
The resolution is to adopt it.
Okay.
Or the action is to adopt it.
Okay. So to the adopt the letter. I mean, Brian, in the text, in the changes that you're looking for, I mean, would it make sense to structure this as I mean, it sounds like what you're asking for is more of a therefore be it resolved, right? I mean, that would make it the clearest that, we were concerned about its neglect, right?
Yeah.
And I think too, like you get this position, and then when it's the landmarks or preservation budgetary hearing, we then have a position we can go advocate for this funding there, because that's what's being negotiated right now.
Are you saying that it should not be or should be, Valerie?
I'm not. I don't. Once we have a past position, whatever it is.
What was decided at the last meeting was to do a paper of position.
It just said it was something. And I wasn't at the last meeting for that.
We can. It doesn't matter. We have to just decide what.
If I could offer a thought, Chanel, I would recommend going the resolution route for the reason that this board voted on budget priorities back in October, and this is in effect supplementing what the board has said is its budget priorities. The number comes from the police department, but they haven't shown you what they intend to do with that money. We've asked for it, by the way, and we got no response at all. Not that they said no, they just didn't respond. So you may also, by the way, want to ask for the plans in addition to asking for the money.
No, we did. Did they? No, but you did ask for the plans.
Twice.
Okay. So they didn't, it says because they didn't.
They have not engaged since that first set of responses.
Okay, so it was a very good response for all that.
The first one was, yeah. Anyway, so from the peanut gallery, I would suggest it be a resolution, because it then has equal footing with the request for 2 Howard Street and all the other things that you advocated for.
It certainly seems from all this that it's ripe for being a resolution. We sort of skip the statement that's going to lead to one.
Yeah, I would have a slightly different take on the situation. I think we're actually at a very premature state. that this has been initiated through village preservation without, with limited input from NYPD and without input from other city agencies like the budget office or from the mayor's office, including the LIFT task force that was tasked with looking at city-owned land that is potentially used for housing. And it is landmark, but it is also city-owned land, which I think then presents multiple uses potentially, whether it goes through the renovation, restoration route or otherwise. So I would want to hear more from other agencies and other parties who are interested in how we could use this lot in this building beyond just this single route of funding. And
so I just want to be clear, Arturo, you are advocating for like destruction of the building and replacing it with another structure?
To
I don't think I use that language. I don't think I use that language.
Yeah, to expand what it says about stakeholders, in other words.
Right.
Because those are the people you speak about.
Right.
The reason that it is limited is because it came as a and we accepted it as preserving an individual landmark, and then everything else is branched out from that. I believe what we've agreed is a resolution with stronger wording along the lines of Brian's suggestion, including being more specific about other stakeholders and what they might do, and then including the police department's really an amalgamation of their two statements to date. And is that what we've decided and what we agreed to?
That's fine with me.
Okay. Brian, I'll work with you on this from the notes that I have and you have and what everybody has agreed to.
And Chanel, I just wanted to direct your attention to the chat. I think Dana had put something in the chat. She says, to clarify, Village Preservation's request was that this individual landmark, which has been in a state of grave disrepair for years.
Is this from Dana?
It is. It is.
I'll bring her back.
Chat. Would you like me to allow her to speak or?
Well, go ahead and finish that reading, Eugene, please.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to read it into the record, which has been in a state of grave repair for years, be protected and saved. We have no current stance on use. And Dana says she doesn't need to speak.
Okay, so we're all in agreement, I believe?
Yes.
Any opposition?
I believe that we've agreed
Yes.
on what I've outlined. And we'll incorporate some of what Dana has said as well. And then we can work with her on it. I've lost the next application in the midst of my notes here. Okay, Washington Street. The only controversy I heard about it is the rooftop addition. Is there any other part of the building anybody wants to comment on? Shall we recommend approval for everything except we're discussing the rooftop separately?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay. It's very, very, very visible.
Right.
Speak, please.
Well, nobody can disagree with that.
Yeah, it is.
Well, the next part comes, is it objectionable?
Well, this is where it's
and again, always what we're dealing with here is where do we draw the line
Mhm.
if it's more than minimally visible?
Mhm.
Is this where, I mean, for me, first committee meeting here, is it typical for them to have renderings for these to kind of see what it will actually look like with the material and the lighting? I think that makes it a little bit difficult to assess how objectionable it is.
Well, if I may say that this presentation was about as complete as we ever get. They did this 3D, isometric view, aerial view, which showed the layout of the roof and so on, with the material, at least the coloration. We don't, a lot of times it's not going to be the exact tone, especially with, as you say, the different lighting conditions. So what do you think, Chenault?
Well, we have, with what we've got, we've done the best we could, which is asking what color it is. And she said it matches the one side and the other. We have never approved one that was this visible on the grounds that it's visible but not objectionable. So to pass this one would be going into new territory as far as how much visibility, whatever the thing that's visible is.
I think
it goes back to the thing of it's not our, if you will, problem about where the house is, how it lies, what its neighborhood is, what the size of the buildings next door. It's a condition that existed. The house was clearly bought after designation when all of the regulations were in place and all of the precedents were in place for rooftop additions.
Okay, so I feel like I need to recall that the next door building, the Whitney Museum Independent Study Program building, certainly over my objection, and perhaps it was part of the resolution, I'm not sure. They added a third floor right up to the front street wall, which I thought was totally inappropriate. Talking about visibility, that changed the character. And so we have a precedent. It shows on their presentation sheet 12, existing and proposed front elevations, and that whole third floor on that neighboring building is a new piece of the street. So I am taking that into consideration when I'm considering how much of the rooftop addition is visible on this particular building. The fact that I didn't realize this was Lichtenstein's private dwelling while he had his studio next door. But it's kind of goes hand in hand then. That's the only mitigating factor that I can think of that says, well, okay, up against that new addition on the building next door, then it kind of blends in. But that's not a very strong argument, but I felt like I had to mention it.
And it's also not a row house, the building next.
No, it was an
industrial building. So
yes,
I think that entered in a lot into the decision.
I don't see any reason why we can't just disapprove the rooftop addition, and then we don't have to redesign it. We say that over and over again.
No, and there are ways that we would ask to have something lowered or moved.
Right.
But there's nowhere you can easily see if you chopped it in half, it would be a half size, equally visible addition.
Well, in terms
is
of
there
those
any
details,
objection
Charles,
to recommending denial?
In terms of that decision, Chenault,
yeah,
that was an interesting note that we got that I believe she said that the new code requires a bulkhead stair if the addition on the roof is more than 33% of the floor
Yeah,
below.
right.
So two things, if the penthouse addition was reduced to being just a little less than that 30%, then we wouldn't see the penthouse addition very much, and we also wouldn't need the stair bulkhead.
Why would we not see it? It looked like the whole.
It's going to shrink. It's going to be set back
Well,
more.
I know it'll be smaller, but it'll be equally visible.
I don't think so.
No, it'll be less visible because it's a smaller structure.
Eugene, can you get up do you know what the plate we're
Yeah,
talking about?
I can bring up their
It showed
presentation.
across from around the corner.
Well, that was.
Which slide in the deck?
16 maybe?
No.
It's a photograph of the mock-up, whatever it is.
Yeah, okay, it's 21, no, yeah, 21 from the front and 22 from the back.
Okay, so here's 21. Right, and there's 22, right? So should we start at 21?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's quite a bit of mass up there, and reducing the.
And am I correct? We're seeing all the way. We're seeing all of it that there is. How would it be less visible? Particularly looking at the other slide as well.
It would have to be reduced in size. It would be set further back from the front.
Okay, then show the next slide. I think it's the next one.
Yeah. And all of that bulkhead would be eliminated.
Well, I'm sorry, this is not there's one that shows it against the side of the industrial building. Is it the next one?
All right.
I'm sure that it shows the entire depth of the.
If I recall, wasn't this the one where they had said that their mock-up had changed?
It's a picture of the mock-up, I know that.
Yeah, and I think the picture of the mock-up had changed. They're actually still in the meeting. So I see that Erin just raised her hand.
And it was up when I asked her about the color of the material.
All right.
Do we have a question for
all the
Aaron?
pictures are in a row.
Do we have a question for Aaron?
Does Chanel or Eugene, do we have a question for Aaron to answer about the bulkhead or the size of the penthouse?
Well, I'd like to see it, what we're talking about. Can you are you at the end, Eugene?
I mean, I can advance several slides.
If you.
Yeah, I mean, these are the last several
Okay,
slides.
then back up and it's bound to be there.
Right. You know, could we ask Aaron, because I thought that these slides in particular had changed from the materials we received.
Right.
They used in the presentation.
It's one that was missing from.
Yeah, there were at least a few slides that had changed.
This deadly late with its arrival, and that's why we don't have it.
But they are still in the meeting.
Is the applicant still on?
I can allow, if you'd like, I can allow Erin to speak and we could just ask her. Is that okay, Chanel?
No.
No? Okay.
No?
No?
Sean Sweeney, do you have your hand up for speaking? Sean?
No, I don't. No, I don't. Do I? Is there a hand up? I don't.
You do.
No, it's just the mouse.
Well, my position is I don't think it can be reduced enough in either direction to satisfy the real problem of total visibility, simply because there's a hole there. You can see the hole of the roof through. And it's not some far off place. So I think Bo was right just simply to recommend denial because of the visibility. I understand, Brian, we would see less of it, but we would see the whole of the less of it.
Oh, well, that's right. You know, we don't redesign it for them. We're
Right.
just talking about what it might happen. So yeah, I think our only recourse is to say, well, no, it's too visible.
And to say the reason for it.
Yeah.
And if the whole rooftop is visible, if anything built on rooftop is visible, it's visible. So is everyone agreed that we recommend denial and be very clear about why?
Yes.
Yes.
And nothing else is objectionable about the application, right?
Correct.
Right.
See, no objections online, so.
Okay, very good. Then Bank Street. It was unclear. It's the usual thing of, since it's what the staff approve and what they don't, but we comment on what we see, and they can take it from the staff or from the commission. I believe that the only thing in front was the moving of the gate, and we have routinely approved these when they didn't disturb the historic look of the ironwork. So is that agreed?
And just for my clarification, they're just moving it like a few inches, or is that?
I'm more than
They're
that.
shortening?
That's,
Okay.
but they're reconstructing it, I believe, to look like original.
Got it. Okay.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
I would say.
It's and often they just move the gate and patch where they moved it.
Right.
It usually has to do with accessible entrance and a ramp, but better stairs are good too. So that would presumably help a person,
Right.
much as they didn't need a wheelchair. So a good place to see these is on Washington Square with the NYU buildings that are wide enough to actually get a ramp. The excavation seemed, I don't know why we always have to pull excavation out of everybody, but we know what it is now, and it's basically as much as there can be within the limits of the regulations. And we put in a boilerplate about being careful that it doesn't disturb the building or the one next door and so forth. And both buildings and landmarks are very strict about this whole underpinning thing. Did anyone have any objections? I want to talk about the rear facade. Eugene, if you'd be good enough to get up, put up the rear facade.
Sure, that sure thing.
The elevation.
Okay, so the rear.
It's 11.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you,
the one that
Brian.
showed clearly all that plate. There it is.
There we are.
That's really
this is what I think we have to comment on.
Yeah.
We have never seen anything approaching this.
No.
There are often things that are this wide. They don't extend beyond the parlor floor, which would be the floor between the two dark black, if I'm reading it correctly. And they have some articulation or division or something that make them look like they could belong to a house.
Can I just say something for Arturo's benefit? Normally, if there's a rooftop addition, you see on the back there,
Yeah.
Look at the existing on the left.
Right.
We usually, if we allow the rooftop addition, we would expect that the next two floors would be essentially the same, and then something else maybe as you get down lower, but.
Especially basement.
Yeah, so what Shanault was saying is, this is far exceeding what we normally approve.
Right. Yeah.
Very far, yeah. And with respect to the design of the windows, and the fact that they're not windows, but they're
sliders,
thrown out back wall replacement glass.
Right.
And all the others we've had, this sort of hinted to in the house next door, are some kind of windows, full width windows. They are respecting the sides of the original. And for Beau's favorite activity, the original material is completely removed from the next to the top floor. So my suggestion is, and the top floor windows are, as far as I can see, also plate glass.
Yeah.
Casement.
Yeah. It's too much.
Single pane of glass, right?
Whatever they are, they don't recall the history of the way. So, and the commission were very specific about that at their meeting this week. My suggestion is that we ask for the preservation of the top two floors and that the bottom two floors have some sense of historic style windows.
Yeah, that's good.
And particularly that they're segmented in some way. It's very lenient about the bottom two floors, but that leniency has never extended above.
Yeah, this is.
I mean, they don't even look like windows.
If these people wanted a mid-century modern house, they've come to the wrong place.
I was a little confused. I thought it was unfinished. I was like, where's the?
I know. We've never seen this, just so you know. This is quite surprising. That's right. That's right.
We have the set. Does anything else require comment in the house?
Oh, of course. The penthouse.
Okay, and oh
With
dear.
visibility, right? Yeah.
I'm so focused on the bottom, I can't even see the penthouse. That it should similarly have some sense of windows. We have glass wall penthouses, but they're walls of windows, not walls of glass.
Right.
I think that's where the big, where they've stepped over the line of what we would like to see.
Well, and unfortunately, the penthouse is so very visible from the street.
Okay, that's the next one. I want to get the house out of the way.
Just a small detail.
Right.
I don't see any anything that qualifies it.
No.
Yeah, and it's so clear that if with the stairs moved, the part of the vernacular on the roof is bulkheads wherever they might lie. Often staircases are closer to the front than even this one. But a bulkhead is one of those sort of things that you blank out, but you don't blank out rooftop additions.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of a psychological statement, but it never is. And almost every house has one if they don't have a hatch. So is it just simply denying it and not trying to redesign it?
That's what I would do.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
Then no objection to denying it. Okay, for a lot of good conversation, we've come up with the rear facade and the
Penthouse.
the rear facade and the visibility are the two items to find objection to, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Well, this is the one where the front facade cornice is being replaced, and I'm thankful for that.
Did you want it moved to the top?
Just doesn't look right to me. But Just, yes, go ahead.
No, I just want to include that we should be thankful, like Brian said, it is a really nice restoration.
Yes.
Are there other places where this happens?
Well, I'm trying to think of something. I believe I've seen something like this, but it's not common.
I recall a house that had 3 cornices and they removed one, but I don't think there was an issue at the top. The top was at the top. And he mentioned the space, and it looked to me like in the one, can you back up? There was one that showed the 3, including the historic photograph.
It was the first one.
Been well back toward the beginning.
Could I go back?
Yeah.
Yes,
And
like
it looked to me like there was more space in the original photograph than in what he's showing.
Is this the one? Sorry, is this a
Top
slide?
left.
Did I try number, Bill?
Yeah.
This was a plate that showed the photograph beside the. There we go. Is it just the angle, or is there actually more space in the left-hand side than in the right-hand side?
Well, it could be very deceptive. It could be that in the text photo, it might be that cornice is a little bit taller, but we don't have a dimension on it, so it's only a general proportion.
It actually looks so from just glancing at it, even with 2 perspectives. Brian, are you suggesting that we should ask that it be moved up and made larger? Or that more effort be made to match the original?
We are emphasizing that this new cornice be as a close a replica to the original as possible. But since we can't ascertain whether there was brick above the cornice on the original building, I'm wondering if we should maybe suggest that that should be looked at again to see why keep that extra brick up there when they're going to have a railing anyway.
Not to decide, but might we say either a cornice that is larger and at the top of the existing brick, or remove the brick?
I'd be okay with that.
Okay, because what we want to end up with is not having brick above the cornice.
Yeah, it doesn't look right to me.
Right, that looks weird.
Okay, then that's the third item for this for suggestion, the other two for denial.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Brian, I didn't understand you hadn't sort of dropped that when with the discussion, or I would have put it.
So you got it, and we have agreement in the room, and
Yep.
I have a question for Brian.
yes,
When I asked for the windows, the fenestration, I asked why they were going from 4 panes to 8, and he said that's what the staff wanted. And he also said, which had some truth to it, that glass technology evolved where you could get larger panes of glass. And I'm not in Greenwich Village as much as you are, but aren't 2/2 common in these kind of Italianate buildings from the 1840s? It just really, I think it's so busy that what the staff proposed to have 8 panes.
it seemed to me that the technology had evolved enough that we could get 2/2 windows at that time, and that 1854.
Oh, yeah, my building is 1881 in Soho, and we have 2/2.
Well, they said they were going back to the
Original, yeah.
to the original, which clearly shows what they've done. And
Well, what is the original?
the left side.
I think they're referencing this
Or they're
exact tax
presumed to be.
photo.
2/2.
And staff don't make as subjective judgments as we can. They have a book that tells them what's the best thing for this building.
Yeah,
So they're operating from
I've seen staff make a lot.
from objective points about
Yeah.
these things.
Sometimes staff have a lot to learn. So I don't know. So Brian, I mean, are they, or Chanel, people who live in the village aren't 2/2 common in these late Italianate or middle Italianate buildings, early Italianate, I guess, buildings?
Yeah, mine is that, and it's wrong because it's been changed to 1/1.
Yeah, so can we ask for that to have 2/2 instead of 4/4?
No, because that's nowhere.
What?
That's an even bigger sin than 1/1. That's
Yeah,
just what
2/2.
is.
Did
And
I
they've
not
never
say?
been changed.
I said
The
2/2.
general thing about the windows in the front is that if they're being changed, to change back to the original, unless there's some good reason.
Yeah,
not
I
to.
know. That's what I'm saying. 2/2 is probably the original, not 4/4.
There's certainly no
I'm
photographs.
sure they would not have recommended that
Who?
if the staff.
Staff has made mistakes in the past.
Well, they're less so now, but
What do we want? Forget about
At any-
staff. Do we want 2/2 or 4/4? I think 2/2 is more historical.
this is what
Right, the historic photo.
common. Warning has to be with some foundation.
Pardon me?
Warning has to be with some foundation.
What, I didn't hear the subject of your sentence. What has to be?
The wanting something has to be with foundation
The what?
to make it more historically correct.
Yeah, and I think historically correct, 2/2 is historically correct in an 1854 building.
I am
That seems
surprised.
not to be the wisdom of the
Oh, we have an
researchers who did it.
architect here.
Yeah.
Brian, what do you think?
I am surprised that the applicant and the applicant and whatever consultants they have had not been able to come up with a photograph of that building or any of the buildings on that street with the smaller lights. All the buildings on that street in the photographs presented have larger lights.
larger lights.
Well, like
that.
like 2/2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
That's larger lights than what they're proposing that we have.
Yeah, I know, yeah. As a
So
matter of
that's-
fact, maybe that 1940s photograph is the original windows.
Well, should we ask the staff to just ensure that these are the correct
Oh,
windows
don't ask the staff
for the
anything.
building?
Ask the commissioners who actually might know something.
I would like to ask the staff to show us some evidence.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I don't that we can't quite put it that way because there's no opportunity, but we can ask them to look at it again to ensure that these are correct. I think that's as
I mean,
far
I
as we
remember, if I could just go back, I remember we couldn't get trees in Soho for decades because staff said they did not exist in the 19th
Well,
century.
but this is a whole new world.
Did I finish? Did I finish?
This is a whole new world.
Did I
of
finish,
staff,
please?
though.
Did I finish, please?
Yeah.
Staff. And for years, they were saying there were no trees in Soho in the 19th century. And then we got Google and we found trees all over the place. So staff makes major errors.
This is something very, very different in the new, with the new regulations.
I don't understand what you're saying.
The new regulations about what staff approves are very different now.
I think
from
staff is making a
within the
mistake.
last 2 or 3 years. And this is part of what they do now.
They still
We
can make mistakes.
objected to their doing it, but
So you're saying staff cannot make mistakes?
no, I'm saying that we can ask the staff to ensure that these are the correct ones.
How about
without
we
being
ask the commission?
confrontational.
How about we ask the commission to
No,
ask?
no, the staff, because the staff approve it. The
No,
commission
but
don't.
this is being sent to the commission, right?
No, the staff approves what the staff approves.
No,
and
no.
the-
My
And the
question
commission,
is, this is going to the commissioners, right?
no, it's, the staff approved this and the commission have, in essence, given this over to the staff to decide, much as when they have.
No,
an
this
application.
resolution, let me make it
No,
clear.
that's what the rule is.
The resolution we're making tonight is going to the commission, commissioners,
Yeah,
right? Not the
that's
staff.
true, but.
Okay,
but-
so therefore, can I
But that
finish?
is for
Therefore,
the commission.
can we
not
ask
to
the
overrule.
commissioners, can we ask the commissioners to confirm with the staff that they are correct?
That's what we're doing.
Thank you. I'm trying to make that,
staff
didn't sound like,
confirm.
sounded
That's
like
exactly
you
what
were
I'm
saying we
saying.
were going to the
Yeah.
staff with this. We're
Yeah,
not. We're
that's
going
what
to
I'm
the commission.
saying. Okay,
We're going to the commission.
yes, it's settled. Thank you. Are there any other points of discussion?
No.
Any new business?
We have only this meeting this month, and the news of the day is that the Thompson Street building is only going to be read into the record at the next mission meeting, and there'll be no public session for it, and that will be scheduled for later. However, the 4th Street building next door to the Merchant Street will be at the next commission meeting, as well as the Florent building. So whoever would like to come for that would be welcome. And the 4th Street building has taken on an enormous number of people involved, and is going to be, I think, a lot of contentious testimony, and we'll see what the commission say. They were surprisingly hostile toward the Lafayette Street building and really called them to task on a number of things that were in our resolution. So I was.
Just to be clear,
are you finishing your water? Or are you agreeing, Valerie?
I was agreeing and finishing my water.
I was really surprised at how sympathetic they were to the historic ambiance.
Yeah, yeah, and I'd say the commissioners, I forget the first commissioner and the commentary and questions, like really set the tone for the rest of the testimony. So I was there in person, and Chanel also testified on behalf of the board virtually. And Borough President, Brad Hoylman Siegel was there in person. I was sitting next to him, but it took a little bit of time to get going. It was towards the later part of the afternoon. So I think they ended up wrapping up at 6:45, maybe.
About the.
Yeah. So
I faded at 6:30 because I had a meeting. So.
Okay. Yeah. I had a meeting at 6:30. So I testified around 5:30, then I left to come back here for another meeting. So
I had a nap between Valerie and me. So.
there you go. There you go. So I imagine that next Tuesday will also be robust as well. So thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry, just to be clear, so for that one, for the
375?
yeah, that's coming back next week to LPC, or?
They had the public testimony, so it'll come to it'll be a discussion, but no public testimony. I don't think it's on next Tuesday's agenda, Chenault.
I think that they've cleared out on account of the 4th Street because
I think it's going to be, so it's not going to be this next week for the next part of 375. So that would be the deliberation of the commissioners, and then they would vote on it.
But they, just to some, because I read a small snippet online. Did they just say, take the feedback from the community and come back with a new design? Or
no,
what?
They didn't vote on it.
Okay.
So they didn't take a vote because the public testimony went till about.
Took so long. Okay.
So they did not have their discussion. They didn't have their vote. So.
Okay, got it.
They had questions for the project team that was there, and then they heard the public testimony. So it'll go back on the calendar without any more public comment.
Got it. Okay.
This is not uncommon for such complicated things, and particularly ones that they have so many things that they would like to see changed. So it just can't be done in one day because they can't do the research on their questions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then it was a pretty robust agenda across the city of just different projects.
In the absence of Susan and Anita, I'm going to send things to you, Brian. And if you in turn would work on your suggestions about the first.
I'll send you those.
I'll
send you those figures.
The first resolution. We'll meet together tomorrow, maybe.
Yes, that's a possibility. So let's get.
Tomorrow morning is a good time for me, so I'll probably get these done by early afternoon. And whatever your time is.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
And Bo will have to take his toy and go home. Thank you, Arturo.